Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm for Profit. I'm your host, Drip Coach, and let's jump right into it. So this is a different video, kind of like a crypto news video, but more of a blast from the past, kind of crypto origin story, man. Because ironically, both these came up in my feed around the same time, and they draw parallels to the whole purpose of crypto and the don't trust but verify. So what I'm talking about is we're gonna listen to a clip here on the Altcoin Daily channel from the Dev, one of the guys that's like a Bitcoin OG back in 2008. He rubs elbows with like people like CZ and lots of other devs in the space. And one of his big things is all about honor and transparency. It's insane. Then also, I'm gonna talk about Jimmy Zong, one of the other kind of a Bitcoin OGs. This guy was responsible for the Silk Road hack, more than $3 billion for the crypto. I think it's like 50,000 Bitcoin that ended up getting turned over to the authorities in the US. But there's parallels to kind of the history and how crypto is that wild, wild west, and it's still developing. But it was definitely like a bunch of rogue criminals, for lack of a better word, originally. And of course, you had some of the Robin Hoods, not the exchange, but the ones that were trying to steal from the rich and give to the poor and create something out of it. And it's developing in that stage. But I think it's important to remember that this is where it came from. Now, nobody knows if it's Hal Finney or the NSA, or who knows who actually created Bitcoin. Everybody has their opinions, but we definitely know who kind of adopted it and took it off. And it was definitely your hackers, coders, developers, keyboard warriors, things of that nature. It was definitely not a for the people kind of public adoption. It was just a small group of coders and developers, and of course black hat and white hat hackers all across different areas of the internet that were trying to break it over and over and over again. And by doing so, it got more and more resilient. So first, going to play this clip from the Dev. So again, if you're not familiar with him, he does a lot of development work and been around a long time. But there's two clips in here that I think are really, really interesting. One is about his past, because that gives you some context on kind of where he came from.
Even back when I was young, when we were doing what we were doing, we all had ethics, we all had rules, we all trusted what we said to each other, and we dealt in thousands and thousands of product, and we trusted in each other. So one would fly to Florida, another one fly to California, another one fly to Portland, and we do a lot of transportation. It's kind of like Johnny Depp and all. I don't know if I can say that, but it's kind of like Blow, the movie Blow. But they blew it up even more than proportion, and Blow probably really was. But I didn't work with cartel. I worked with pretty much a Mexican mafia. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not direct. I went to Mexico and I brought it across the borders. I flew it on planes from here to Denver to back up to Washington. I drove it. I put it in a train. I tried it everywhere. I had friends that flew it out of Colombia in planes, and it got to be a lot of fun. It just plus you got to live.
So, and this is quite common. I know there's people actually in our community that have a checkered past, so to speak, run-ins with the law and things of that nature. So there's nothing. I'm not shitting on this guy at all or anything like that, but it's just a reminder that kind of where the origin stories for a lot of people in crypto came from, and that of course not all developers are cut from the same cloth that have that honor like he's talking about. You see that painted or written on his refrigerator back here, and he's real big in that on his Twitter and stuff like that. He's always talking about honor and all these other things in crypto, and valor and integrity and things of that nature. Honorable. Let's talk about Gary Gensler here. But it's just something that he seems to adopt. Now, I don't know enough about him personally, but it's just very interesting to have a past like that and then, turn over a different leaf. So he's also talking about Sam Bankman-Fried here.
If you could be in conversation with Sam Bankman-Fried, what would you tell him?
Pretty much what all my videos say. You little bitch. You know what I mean? I really don't know what to. He's not a good man. He's not a good man. Anybody that does that to anybody, backstabbing people, even back when I was.
So, and that's something, again, a common theme that he talks about is how there's a bunch of these devs that are just scamming and rugging and not honorable. And I think we can all agree that we've seen some of those within the crypto space. And it's refreshing to have someone, at least on the surface, talk like that. Now, I don't know nothing about this guy, but definitely what I've seen in the different clips and people that he's worked with, he's all about just like, I think even in this clip, he says like, you know, just charge what you're worth and not a penny more, and then move on to the next job. Like, you don't need to like gouge people. It's all about adding integrity, transparency, and honor back into the space and creating something that could be long standing. Now, the way that this ties in with this one, ironically, definitely read this article over here on CNBC, as well as, I think this is probably the same article. They just put a video together. It's about 30 minutes long, but Jimmy's on. So this guy, they found out afterwards that he was actually the one responsible for the heist or the hack of Silk Road. And if you're not familiar with Silk Road, it was basically a dark web exchange for drugs, guns, counterfeiting money, you name it. It was on Silk Road. You could usually order it and get it. And most of the transactions were done in Bitcoin, and Silk Road was kind of the eBay of that arena. And Jimmy came across the hack and stole 50,000 Bitcoin from there. And for like a decade, nobody could figure out who took it. And lost my train of thought there with my dog. But the irony of this was that Jimmy was actually, he called 911 because someone broke into his house and stole roughly about a couple $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. And this is a guy sitting on millions, billions of Bitcoin. So he calls to report the theft, and then basically law enforcement in Athens, Georgia, is pretty much a party town, didn't know what to do with it because it was Bitcoin. And then he hires a private eye. Private eye is digging around. Everybody's kind of asking questions like, you know, where'd you get this money? He's like, oh, I was an early investor in Bitcoin. And long story short, he ends up pretty much incriminating himself, and they get a warrant and everything else, and literally find him sitting on the Bitcoin from the hack, and then he admits to it, blah, 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 blah. But the reason I bring this up, because this ties back into what the dev was saying. So this person, Jimmy was, I wouldn't call him like a criminal. He just hacked a place where thieves were exchanging goods and services. And then he was using that to, he did some drugs with friends, but wasn't trafficking drugs or anything like that. He's just doing a typical party boy lifestyle. And, you know, they ended up getting him like just over a year in prison, but he didn't get to keep any of the Bitcoin. So not bad. The government made out like a bandit on this arrest, but he was stealing from these questionable people, like the dev was talking about, stuff that he was doing. Now, I didn't say he was using Silk Road, but again, all these people kind of come together, and now we have the birth of crypto. So at the end of the day, it's all back to don't trust but verify, because you never know who's on the other side of that screen and whether or not they come from a place of moral integrity and value, or they're just trying to screw you over and make more money for themselves. And that's also where your influencers come into play. They're kind of sitting in the middle road. So your developers write the contracts and do everything, and you're hoping that they have integrity, but that doesn't mean that the person in the middle pumping and shilling it in a Telegram chat, a Discord chat, Twitter post, that doesn't mean they don't have some ulterior motive just to get you to get in and pump their own bags or use a referral link, as we've seen. So there's so many layers in here that it is, I don't want to say it's in your favor or against you or not, but it is hard to make money in the long term in some of these kinds of things because of the way that the space is designed. So hence, again, don't trust but verify. Always be looking over your shoulder, double check things and pay attention, and even go as far as to, you know, malware and stuff like that, and people trying to reach out and help you and steal your keys for your seed phrase, all sorts of stuff, man. Like, you just got to keep eyes in the back of your head, and as he used to tell me in the military, keep both eyes open, preferably in a row, because it's crazy. So anyway, come check out this interview by the Altcoin Daily channel with Aaron and the dev. He's also got his own game out on Steam. It's kind of like this, looks like similar to kind of a old school Grand Theft Auto style gameplay, but it's supposed to be about like killing all the Ponzi's and stuff in crypto. I haven't played this game or anything like that, but it's cool to see. And he said, like, as of right now, since things are kind of dead, this is what you do. You take your mind off things by going and play a game. This just came out like just under a month ago. And you can follow him on Twitter to see what he talks about. He's got some cool videos, but he might be the oldest dev in the space. But again, refreshing to hear him talk about, you know, transparency, integrity, honor, all this good stuff. And hopefully there are more devs out there like that. Like, I think we have that with Hustleman Matt. So if you haven't seen, maybe as of this video, may have already had this AMA, but seems like Hustleman Matt is someone that marches to the beat of that drum. So it all ties together. So you can also come check out this CNBC, how to steal and lose more than $3 billion in Bitcoin. Not bad to say he only spent 1 year in jail or federal prison, 1 year and 1 day. And he blew already like a couple $1 million worth, having a lavish party boy lifestyle. So I think he got off pretty good. All right, that's all I got. Smash that HBO special, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below. And until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See you. Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? SPRITZ Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.